Alright lads, so the new speed character in the game is the new White Day version of Grimmjow. So here we are to break down the character, review it, and see exactly how good this new Grimmjow is in Bleach. Brace yourselves. So Grimmjow is a speed Aaroniero / Espada character with the no affiliation killer, and he does come with an enhanced soul trait, that being minus 14% strong attack recharge time. Looking at the skills this character does have, he comes with inheritance zone only increased power link swap potions by +5, 40% extra strong attack damage and also no attack damage, 60 extra % damage on his soul bomb. Follow up, which is the first time we have seen this skill on an SP based character, frenzy +1, havoc +20% and sprinter +1. And then looking at his innate skills, he does come with fire resistance and also read no affiliation dodges. So already from the get-go, he's looking like quite a solid character. 40% Berserker, 60% Devastation, also 20% Havoc is very good. He has a 14% recharge link, and the innate skills that he does have helps him in what he wants to be used in. The fire resistance is helpful in guild quests, and then the read no affiliation dodges is going to allow him to farm Hogekills a lot easier in Transcendent Zone. The most important skill that he does have, and one of the potential main reasons of why you want this character, is the increased power link swap potion +5. He is the first of the third generation of link swap characters, and the third speed character in the game right now to have the link swap potion +5 for the speed attribute. This is going to allow him to farm IZ a lot faster, get those extra pots, and at the same time, if he's a good character, you can manually play with him and have an easier time farming link swap potions, which is something that we definitely want in this attribute because Momo is just she's not that good anymore.
Bleach, Brave Souls.
So for PvE content, this is where you're mainly going to be using the Grimmjow. This is what he was designed for. For PvE, stuff like IZ, for example, Inheritance Zone, is definitely where you're going to get the most use out of this character. Even if he was a bad character, even if you don't want this character, even if you don't even want to play as this character, him being on your team is always going to give you +5 power pots if you bring him into the correct IZ, which is speed only. This is a very good thing because it makes his value on your account very good, especially if you do like the other links for characters such as the Christmas Momo and also the Swimsuit Retsu. So for a lot of people out there, you might be forced into using this character when farming IZ, so you kind of want this character to be good. And at least on the bright side, he actually comes with very good strong attacks. His SA1 is a lunge forward, albeit not the biggest lunge. It's still a lunge and it's still not bad whatsoever. His SA2 is a distant AoE in front of him, covering a 960 radius, and then his SA3 is a 1200 full screen. So he comes with very good strong attacks, and this makes him very fun. There's literally almost nothing to complain about his strong attacks, and this makes him one of the, not the best speed character, because he does lack a few like extra skills that some of the better speed characters have, but it does make him one of the better ones, and in my opinion, I'll definitely say potentially top 10. Now, when I'm playing with this character in IZ, again, because of his strong attacks, I didn't really have any problem using him. For IZ, he cleared quite well, something that you would expect from a character like this. You know, 40% Berserker, he's going to be hitting hard. What I did notice, or more so what I didn't even see used for the most part, was his follow-up skill. In my opinion, follow-up on an SP character is kind of wasted. There's a very, very tiny part of the game where you might need it, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. The only time you're ever going to see this follow-up skill be used is when you're waiting for your strong attacks to come back, which isn't that long because you should be rocking recharge links, and you're going to be maybe hitting a character after you just used a strong attack. Follow-up, if you don't know, is more so good for NAD characters because they naturally can't hit characters on the floor, but when a character's on the floor and uses strong attack, you can hit them. So I found myself not really ever using that skill to its advantage in a sense. It was just kind of a wasted skill for the most part. I would have much preferred something else to maybe make him a better character. It's a gimmick on him, and it might be useful in a certain situation, but it's very situational, and most of the time when you are using this character, you're not even going to realize it's even on him, so do keep that in mind. But that's not a big drawback, and just something I want to point out. But for like I said, IZ, he plays completely fine, no problems there. At certain parts, however, I did find myself wanting to do maybe a bit more damage on the bosses when the bosses did spawning, and maybe I was the only one left. Him not having any kind of status element does kind of hurt just a tad bit, but it's not the end or be all. You can definitely get over it, and if you invest into this character, maybe get into T20, maybe even get into level 10 SP, then that damage problem that I kind of experienced when playing with him isn't going to be a thing for you, because again, you're going to be investing into him. And to some people, this might be a character worth investing in, because again, he does come with good strong attacks, if that's something appealing to you, and at the same time, he's very useful for content like IZ. For IT, even even though he does have no affiliation killer, don't really recommend it. Again, unless you really invest into this character, I don't see myself using him. He was okay in there. He isn't naturally immune to freeze, unlike the Gin, and that made it so I found myself getting frozen quite a bit, so I didn't really find myself enjoying this character in IT, especially because he does come with no status augments, and you kind of want to be inflicting status augments in IT. So for IZ, I think he's very good. For IT, not so much. For other content like point events and also Sankamon, then yeah, he performs like any other good character with the same strong attacks that he does have, which is some of the better characters out there.
Bleach.
So for Guild Quest, he comes with the no affiliation killer, so that means you do want to use him in the no affiliation week of Guild Quest. Now the best team that you can probably rock with him is have Grimmjow as your main, although I don't really recommend it, but if you did want to work with it, Grimmjow as your main, and then have two good supports, in this case, similar to what we showcased with Gin, you want to have Masaki and also White Ichigo. White Ichigo is providing some crowd control from the Vortex, and then Masaki is providing some support with the boost, the shield, and also just both of them being very good NAD characters to do a lot of damage. Grimmjow, on the other hand, unfortunately, unless you really invest into him, he isn't going to surprise you. Gin, although I think Gin is a worse character than this Grimmjow, he definitely provides more support to keep the two sidling characters alive when using him in GQ. With this Grimmjow, he doesn't really have that. He's just a straight DPS character. He doesn't have any kind of status augments. He doesn't provide any debuffs on the Soul Bomb. So therefore, if you were using him as your main, let's say 1 out of 5, you might find yourself not doing enough damage because maybe your two teammates are dying too often because you can't provide any extra support or utility to keep those two said characters alive. The best thing you can do is to save strong attacks for when a new wave spawns to make sure you get rid of the mini-mobs, and then maybe try and focus the boss on you so you can just kite around the map and then make it so you're not characters don't get hit. So for GQ, I don't think he's necessarily a bad character to use. He does naturally come with, you know, fire immunity, so you don't have to deal with the burn around the entire map, but I don't think he's the best option unless you do get him somewhat max transcended. Maybe get him to like 3 out of 5, and at that point, he should be good. Other than that, 1 out of 5, you're probably better off just bringing a support character to make sure your two silent characters can stay alive, because there is where you're doing your main DPS.
Bleach. Brave Souls.
For Epic Raid, he is currently a bonus for the Yoruichi Epic Raid, so he is going to be a bonus for the next 2 months, so having him is always going to be a good thing. The current bonus list in the speed attribute for the Yoruichi Epic Raid isn't anything too amazing, and Grimmjow pretty much is the best option for us. Again, that's not saying much because the bonus characters themselves alongside Grimmjow isn't anything too amazing. Now, Grimmjow does perform quite well in this specific part of the game. He does do a lot of damage, you know, thanks to the 40% Berserker, the good strong attacks that come out very quick. He doesn't have any problems with maybe getting stuck into an animation and then maybe being forced to take a hit. You can flash step out of all of them, you can cancel all your strong attacks very easily, and they all come out very quick, so no problems there. He performs as like almost any other character. He's anything too special for Epic Raids, he just does what you want him to do, and that's basically just do a lot of damage. So for Epic Raid, he didn't really surprise me, but he just performs exactly how you want him to perform, which again is just good enough. So in conclusion, what do I think about this new White Day version of Grimmjow? Well, overall, I think he's a very good character. There's nothing he really just doesn't shine in. Every content you put him against, he's going to do basically exactly how you expect him to perform. He does have almost the exact same kit as a lot of other good top tier characters, so I didn't really find enjoyment in a sense, like newfound enjoyment with this character. He played exactly how I thought he did. His animations are pretty decent. They didn't really shock me. What I very much did like though was the sob animation, and if I wasn't comfortable with my sexuality, that special definitely would have turned me gay. But that being said, he's a very good character. Again, there's really nothing to complain about for the most part. Of course, him having stats summits would have definitely been a lot better. I think maybe he should have had a tad bit higher Berserk and maybe up it to 60% considering the treatment that Gin got, but that's just me nitpicking. There's nothing really wrong with this character. If you are a Grimmjow fan, you've got yourself another good SP Grimmjow to add to your collection of other good SP Grimmjows. Your 3 most recent Grimmjows have all been pretty good, and this is just another good one. He is a character that's maybe going to be forgotten in the future. Like, he isn't a bad character whatsoever. He doesn't shine in anything in terms of his skills. He's just a very basic, good character, if that kind of makes sense. And that's not a bad thing. Again, if that's what you want in a character, that's perfectly fine. But he doesn't do anything special. He's just a constant DPS character, so that's my best way to describe him. Nothing special, but just good enough, and that's pretty good. Definitely top 10 speed character if you do care about who is in the top 10 or not. But overall, let me know what you guys think about this character. I find him fun. I'm not going to use him that much outside of IZ, but the main point of this character is to be used in IZ, and that's where he is going to shine. And if you are someone that's in need of a Link's character and you did pull this Grimmjow, then he's definitely a good substitute if you don't have someone like Mummy Milka's Retsu. That being said, hope you guys did enjoy the video. In the comments below, let me know what you guys think about this Grimmjow, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.